there's a lot of like relationship anxiety, right? Like, um, more about like, will he change his mind? You know, where that's where my mind goes, oh, he's gonna change his mind. He's gonna leave like the others leave, you know, like,
Okay, so has anything transpired that has given you that?
no, but it's like I make up little
Yeah, I'm
like
just
things that,
asking. Okay, so when, like, how did this all come about?
I don't know, like, like if his, again, my thing with the text, right? Like when when they decrease a little bit, I'm like, oh, maybe he changed his mind, or like, or if he says, oh, can I call you in 30 minutes? And then I think, oh, he's gonna call to like say he wants to break up, or like, you know, and
Okay, so what is it that you want from me? For like, this is a great reminder. You're just telling me this is what's happening. What do you want from me? And this isn't like me being tough on
no,
you.
I know,
Okay,
I
so this is
know.
happening, and what's your
I'm
question?
trying to figure out how to handle it internally instead of trying to get reassurance from him. And I think, like, I know the things, right? Like,
Okay, but wait,
you
I
know,
just want to pause and really celebrate that. I'm really trying to figure out how to do this internally instead of getting the reassurance from him. That's huge. Why have you decided that you want to manage this internally instead of getting it from him?
because it's not, he's not doing anything to cause it.
I'm having a celebratory laugh on your behalf, right? Like, I'm not laughing at you, to be clear. Yeah.
I mean, he's
Okay.
like, he's always present. He gives the, like all the things, right? But then I'm looking for it
Yeah. Okay.
instead of looking for the good, right? Like,
But wait a second. Is it instead of looking for the good, or is a little bit of both happening right now?
I mean, I think you're right. It's both because it's like, I'm like, this could be it, right?
Hmm?
This could be it. And then like, oh, but Christine, if you let it go there, then he's gonna change his mind. You need to protect yourself. I think this is some of that.
Yeah. Okay. So great news. He's not doing anything. And also great news, which we've seen even from what you shared last week of like, I just needed to come up for a break. Right. And so I asked him, like, hey, can I just have a night to myself? So it's like all these things that you're like, old Christine would do X, right? I would imagine old Christine would be looking to him for reassurance.
Yeah, and I have a little bit, so I see myself, so I'm trying to not.
Okay.
Um, but then and then it also comes like there's balance there, right? Like he asked me like, and this is where I go trigger about my dog, right? He asked me how you feeling, and I wanted to lie and say, oh, I'm okay, because he was out having a good time, and so, but I said the truth, like I'm really sad. Because he asked, right? It's not like I just,
Yeah.
and then he like left the where he was at to like FaceTime me, and like he's like, I'm not there, but I want to be there for you in this way. So, and that felt really weird to like receive that too,
Yeah.
because then I'm like, I shouldn't have told him because now he's changing what so it's like
Wait. I shouldn't have told him because now he's changing what?
what he was doing. He was having a good time, and I like, because I said I was sad. He went home to like talk to me.
Yeah, because you lost your pet of how long? Your dog of how many years?
15 years.
Yeah, he's doing what a good partner, in my opinion, should do. What do you think?
Yeah, but it just felt hard to.
I know, because you've been through the fucking ringer a million times.
Yeah.
So, what if your coaching right now is to just like freak the fuck out and be in the fear and not try to get rid of it? Because I just don't think that that's realistic.
Yeah.
And yeah, the better it gets, the scarier it gets for a while because this is still so new, right? And
Yeah.
so, of course, your brain is going to be like, I'm not sure if I'm buying this right now. Of course it is. And I couldn't agree with you more. I don't think your job is to keep tapping him on the shoulder for reassurance. And then I think finding, as I've been saying a lot, like with Diana, organic moments, right? Or Janet, organic moments to be like, I got to be honest, like, you're so amazing. And I'm freaking out that this is too good to be true. In those connected moments with him versus, hey, why haven't I heard from you? Hey, I feel like your texts are slowing down. Hey, right? Because like that's
Yeah, and I have done some of what you said that, you know, and he's like, I'm like I'm worried about you leaving, you know, like that's what he says. So he's like, you know, but I think it's what you say, like I've heard this thing before, right? This does feel different, but I
yeah.
guess
But
time
tell me,
will
so
tell.
that's a great direction to take this. Tell me what is different about him. What's his name again?
Danny.
Nanny?
Danny.
Danny. That's right. I was like, Nanny, that's an interesting one.
No.
Okay. What is different about Danny?
His words and his actions match. Um, if I tell him something that like bothers me, he doesn't like, he like takes it, you know, and he doesn't like get defensive. Or if I need like my own time, like I asked for my own time, it wasn't like bad, you know, like yesterday I got a free babysitter in a way because my daughter's um, friend's mom was like, you had the girls sleep over, so I'll take Mia. So then I texted him as like, look, I have a free day. And he like stopped what he was doing and like spend the day with me. And that was like on no notice, right? Because the mom told me the same day and he still did it. He sent me flowers. They got here yesterday instead of the day before, but because we weren't going to see each other for my dog or whatnot. Um, I don't know. He just like he wants to like share his life with me and tells me like, oh, like some of it seems like too much, but then I feel like it's sincere, right? So it's like it's a hard thing. But like he's like, oh, in October my daughter's getting married. I want you to come with me. And I'm like, you know, in my head I'm like, that's a long time, but it's like a real event as opposed to these other guys making up these trips that don't exist, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So you know, so that's where I have to like I just have to watch my thoughts and I'm trying more to observe it and not, you know, oh, this could be, you know, and trust myself, I guess. I
Yeah,
think I know these
and tell
answers.
me, Christine, with all the shitty dudes that we've observed you be involved with or hung up on, would any of them, like any of them, come to mind to just like be out doing his own thing and come back because he knows you're really sad and like you could really need that support?
No. No.
Yeah. And we're going to allow space for both, recognizing, I swear to God, Christine, this is the exact same thing that I went through with Larry. It was like, holy shit, no, I really feel like he's different. And then I'd fuck with my brain and be like, but I thought the last guy was different. And I thought the guy
Right.
was different. And it's like, but like the thing is, for all of you here, whether you found him yet or not, it will be different with the right person. So you can't like use that against yourself. And these
Right.
are the concrete pieces of evidence to prove that he really is different than the others. And it's still relatively early and we don't know yet.
Yeah.
Right. And only time and continued vulnerability and asking for what you need, advocating for yourself, whether it's more time with him or you need time alone. Right. And coming here, I mean, Emily, who's going to raise her, who has her hand raised next, was freaking the fuck out. Maybe she's freaking out again, right? This is a part of the process. And then I've told you guys a million times over, I freaked out in the beginning with Larry. And then I totally fucking freaked out when we decided I was going to move to Santa Barbara. And then when I got to Santa Barbara, I had a separate freak out. So I had like multiple freakouts, especially in the first year. And then even when we made it to our year anniversary, I had a weird moment. I won't bore you with the details because I want to keep things tight here, but like, it took me fucking time. It had been 9 years since I was in love with someone. I had been in multiple relationships with unavailable people. And it was really fucking hard for me to wrap my brain around this really being the dream person, the person who goes beyond my dreams is like actually here, because I was so comfortable in the rejection and the unavailability and the heartache and the disappointment. But what kept me going? I mean, I think, you know, I feel like it was Diana and who else? There was someone else. Was it Janet? Let's see here. know. It might be Diana, Janet. I thought there was someone else. Who else is newly dating someone here? Kara. Am I forgetting someone? Is it a one-on-one client? Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's also really trusting the time when you're with that person. Like, I feel like every time I came back with Larry, like we'd have the 2 weeks in between, or it's just the long distance, or then, you know, we started to increase a little bit as we got more serious, but like really being in my body and connected to him, because he is a shitty. I was actually laughing to myself in the shower. He checked in with me. We had a full weekend. He had the kids. It was very busy. And then like by afternoon, I was like, bye. I was so tired. And he checked in with me last night, and he's sweet and mushy. And then I like said something really mushy back and over the top. And I like woke up this morning, didn't think anything of it. Then I got in the shower and I was like, he didn't respond to what I said. But like, obviously I don't care. And it's 3.5 years, but like, that's classic Larry. And then like, just before he's like, good morning, my sunshine, with like the sun emoji, his favorite. Right. But it's like, but he kind of was like that always in the beginning, because he had way like a huge full plate.
Yeah.
And working through, I know when I'm with him, he feels really connected. My gut thinks he's a really good person. My gut thinks he's a man of his word. I'm also aware of the full plate that he has. And I'm blown away by the way that he does show up, all things considered. And I'm freaking the fuck out. And I just don't think the work, I know you would love for me to give you my magic wand and like bop it on your head and be like, so now you can be anxiety free. Personally, I think this all sounds really good. And I'm like definitely the most excited about this person over anybody you've ever shared about. And I think you are too. And it's really exciting. And there's still that element of we don't know, but I think all things look really good, Christine. And so you just, I would say the only thing is the repeated work that I told you. And when we re-up for the second year is get into your body, breathe, come into your body, meditate. I don't care if it's even 5 minutes, like just being with that anxiety and befriending the anxiety, and the reminder of like, you are safe no matter what.
Yeah. And I try to go there like, okay, right. My worst case scenario is that he changes his mind and he leaves, right? And then I'm like, okay, well, yeah, it would really suck, but like, shit, this is really like good, right? This is closer to my person. So, like, I think you said that once about Larry, that you're like, oh, if he leaves, then wow, then who's out there is going to be even like really blow away the thing.
I think this is really good for the new people too. It's like this, I mean, Christine, if you want to watch Christine's journey, Christine is someone who has been consistently showing up in the group for the last 1.5 years. And you came in very heartbroken, and it took a while for us to heal with that. And you were so consistent with showing up at the work. And then you've dated some doozies. And I've given you a really tough time about some of them, and you recover every time, and you learn something every time. And then you get back up on the horse, and Emily, who's coming on next, is the same, right? So really like recognizing, oh, this is the work working. And I really felt that about Larry, even in moments where I was like, oh my God, what if we don't work out? Well, I've never been in a relationship with someone like this. Maybe he ends up not being my person, but I see this is where I believe this whole idea of like attracting like. I'm definitely, even my last heartbreak, he was like a million steps up from my rock bottom heartbreak, but it was still really fucking painful.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're not there, and I don't think it's going there, but yes, it is a good reminder of like, I'm going to be okay no matter what. I'm experiencing anxiety, and I'm going to have compassion for this anxiety and fear right now, because understandably so, for all the fucking shit that I have been, putting up with and been on the receiving end of, but I've also been working my ass off. And like the one thought that I would have you take away and take away with you from this conversation, and what I always reminded myself of is, of course, this is happening now. Of course, I attracted this man. Just look at all, undeniably all the amazing work that you have been doing on yourself consistently and the way that you show up. I'm not surprised. So it's hard. And I know you want to walk away, and we all want you to walk away being like, ah, all is good. He's my person. I have nothing to worry about. I don't think you have anything to worry about, but your brain isn't going to listen to me.
Right.
Right. So just, you got to just be gentle and compassionate. I would like do the very, very bare bones basics of meditation, breathing, stillness, allowing the anxiety. I would like plug in a Tara Brach meditation. She does, even if you're just like, so, because sometimes when people told me to meditate and I'm like so wound up, I'm like, I can't. But I just did a meditation. I did not want to do it, but I did it. And I feel so much better afterwards. Just like sitting down and breathing. But I felt I've got a lot going on today, and I was just felt like I don't even have time for meditation. I noticed that like anxious energy, and even though we're talking about different circumstances, it's just like, just ground yourself and come into your body, take some breaths, drink lots of water. Right now I'm drinking chamomile tea, and just like be gentle with yourself and kind to the scared little girl inside of you, as cliche textbook therapeutic as that sounds.
Yeah.
And you also get to use the evidence that you have, that you just shared here, to say that's not happening right now. And so far, I really think he is different. And so I'm going to proceed forward.
Yeah.
I mean, this is similar to Diana. It's like, this is like the not fun part of finding someone really great.
Right. Yeah.
But I remember Diana saying this, there was someone talking about like, I forget who it was, but there was someone talking about not having found her person yet. And Diana was like in the thick of, freaking out about this guy that she's seeing. And I said, Diana, I'm curious, would you rather have this problem, really liking someone and moving through the anxiety and the vulnerability and the fear of getting hurt again, or no one and being like, where is he?
Right. No, that's true.
So it's all good. And you need to just process the anxiety and keep showing up and taking the best care of yourself. Also, can we just honor, and again, I'm so sorry about your dog of 15 years. So you're grieving as well. So you're extra vulnerable.
And and I'm also on my period. So this is like a hodgepodge of shit at one time. So I understand that too, right? Like I understand that, that it's just a lot, right? Like, and so
obviously those basics, hydration, rest,
right,
stillness, breathing, letting yourself cry, coming to these calls,
right,
fears. And then, doing the work, like when you're in a space, reminding yourself he's showing up. He left his friends to come be with you to grieve, as he fucking should.
right.
That's the kind of partner you deserve.
Yeah. And I guess reminding myself, right? Like, I know my friends can be whatever, but one of them says like, look, like you got rid of the, like you set your standard of what you wanted, and you flailed a little bit, right? But you kept pushing stuff out, so then
it's not even you flailed a little bit, like it's all a part of I flailed with Larry.
Right.
Flailing is a part of the process.
And here too, like I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have said it, but I'm like, right, like then I just remind myself, like my person will stay.
Yes.
And it's not like I'm doing anything horrible, right? Like people stay through worship and if I said the wrong thing, right? Like
and what being vulnerable and saying, I really like you, and to be honest, I'm scared like this isn't gonna work. That's like totally fair to say. I expressed that to Larry. Larry expressed that to me.
Right.
And I'm just gonna throw it out there, and then I'm gonna move on. And also, Diana, could you just put in the Q&A like an update from Friday night? Was all good. The other thing is when you say, because like I feel like I definitely said to other guys like, oh, I'm worried I'm gonna get hurt. None of them ever said back, yeah, I'm worried I'm going to get hurt too. I think it's a great sign. And again, this is not a blanket statement because you could end up getting hurt. But I feel like Larry was the first person who I said, I'm scared of getting hurt. And he was the first to say back, I'm scared of getting hurt too. And I think that's a very telling sign. I was watching a crazy Dateline NBC story last night, and it was like so telling, her response when they were like, is this you in the video? And she was like, that wouldn't be me. I'm not that big. Like, she was like focused on the size of the person in the video, but like ultimately it was her, not like, that isn't me who went to go kill my husband. It was just like, it's like such a weird thing to say back, that like the detective was like, okay, this was one of
red flag.
Yeah. It's like, that's because she cared so much. And then she did lap band surgery and lost 100 pounds. Right. So like, clearly she cared so much about her image more than being accused of
killing her husband, or that he's dead.
And I know that that's like, what's that?
Or that he's dead. Like, she cares more about her size than that he's dead.
She's not grieving the way like you would think someone is, right? It's an apples and oranges as usual example, but it's like very telling what people say. And like my rock bottom narcissistic abusive ex, the night that I finally almost caught him red-handed, that was like the last night where it was like dramatic unfoldment of events on the Upper West Side of New York City. That day, this politician, Anthony Weiner in New York, it was like that day that it was revealed that he was engaging with teenagers, and it was like really sick. And I called him and I was just like, oh my God. And also it was post like me discovering he had cheated on him, and we were on like 10th try of our relationship. And he was just like, the first thing that came out of his mouth was he was such an idiot to get caught. Right? Very telling.
Right.
And I like read that story and I was just like, it immediately made like, my gut was like, this is who I'm with. Not that I think my rock bottom ex was like engaging with young girls, even, you know, like not that, but like, I called him because I was like, it was almost like there was some unconscious part of me that like wanted to hear what he was going to say. And like, that's not what you want to hear your boyfriend say.
Right.
Right. So it's like, I just think, again, that could give you some peace of mind when someone's like, hey, I'm scared too, versus, oh, whatever. Well, there's no guarantees in life. Right. Like something weird. Right. So it's a thing, and I think it's all good so far, Christine. Just keep doing all that you're doing and be really, really, I seriously think like coming into the physical body, because there's no like thought that's going to make you feel secure until you're like more time has evolved and you're just more regularly into your routine. And look, it took me over a year with Larry. After I moved, it still took me time. After a year together, more triggers came up, like too good to be true. It's a process, and it might be different for you. I'm not trying to project my experience onto you, but
no, I know.
You know,
but to give myself some grace that's still new, and it's okay that I feel this way.
I cry with how proud of you I am and how happy I am for you. And here you are grieving your dog and moving through this big thing, and you're on your period. And look at how coachable you are, Christine. Remember when I'd be like, Christine, come back, come back, come back.
Yeah.
And do you feel the difference? I know you're in it.
I know. Yeah. Like I'm in it, and I'll get like, ugh, but I'm like, okay, Christine, this will pass. This be, and then it'll go. Like, you know, this is not forever. This is just this moment.
Yeah, but not even the because again, the flailing, the is all a part of the process. Look at that, right? Like nothing has gone wrong.
Right. But I just
it's more that like I just see the tools having really clicked. And I think that that is such a testament to how hard you've worked and how consistently you've shown up and how willing you've been to be really vulnerable with me and be really coachable with me and put your trust into the work and trust into me. And I just am so honored and so proud of you.
Well, thank you. I don't think I would be where I'm at without your help. So thank you.
Christine, it's a collaborative effort. So I'm happy for you. Please take care of you. We're giving you all of our love, and so sorry about all that's happened, but there's also lots to be excited and happy about.
Yeah.